All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is July 3rd. We have a 10-game MLB slate to jump into today. Obviously, we're just changing up the scenery left and right on you guys. Yesterday, we were from the Airbnb. Today, we're from the car, but hopefully the Lamborghini doors on the Escalade can help us out today. We go 2-3 last night, guys. Red Sox plus 165. That was a nice hit for us. We also had the under in the Yankees and Cardinals game, but we also had Yankees money line, so we split that one. And then the Rays don't come through for us either. And then Lane Walker, who I was big on and have been big on, lets us down. Hit the ball hard yesterday, but didn't pull through. So, 2-3 night. And our ride of the day coming in from B-Pup also does not hit. That was Christian Walker over 0.5 hits. He does not get it done. Guys, if you want to be the ride of the day and you want to shout out in tomorrow's video, usually we have like a graphic and stuff, so you actually get your name on the screen, but because we're away from home right now, we haven't been doing that. But nonetheless, use hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'll be jumping on board with someone's play in the comments. Win or loss, you guys got a shout out in the next video, depending on who I jump on board with. Yeah, but here we go. Let's kind of cash from the car, or try to cash from the car. Let's jump into it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys were like, I mean, I don't want to get all sentimental and mushy, but such a bad quality video with the, the noises yesterday, the mic, the lighting, everything. I mean, today at least I feel like cars are kind of soundproof, but yesterday in the Airbnb, not the best setting. Still wanted to grind and get the video out for you guys, and you guys were so appreciative of that and stuff. So, honestly, I don't want to get all sappy, but thank you guys so much for the recent support, and just like the support, regardless of if we're, in the car, recording from an unknown and undisclosed location, or from home, or from the office, you know what I mean? Like, just really appreciate it. So, yeah. Enough of that sappy stuff. Let's jump to the first game here. We got the Texas Rangers taking on the Houston Astros. Houston's already taken 2 of 3 here. On the mound for the Rangers is going to be Martin Perez. He's 7-3 with a 4.28 ERA. Going up against Christian Javier, who is 7-1 with a 3.72 ERA. This one is going to be tough. I want to lean towards the Rangers, but Houston seems to have their number. I could see Houston playing some decent baseball here, taking 3 of the 4, and for plus money, plus 111 odds right now. I'm going to lean towards Houston, but I will say if you are on the Texas side of things, I don't hate it all that much. I just think that Christian Javier, is I'm going to lean towards him over Martin Perez as of right now. In terms of the total, we're sitting at 9 runs. So far in this series, we've seen a 5-3 game, a 5-2 game, and a 5-3 game. These offenses, I do believe, are better than that. Now, there's been some great pitching in the series, no kidding, but I do still lean towards the over. We're kind of right on heaven's door there, knocking, and I have a feeling one of these games, which it will be this fourth one, if it is going to get into the double digits, so I'm going to lean towards the over. Moving on, we got the Brewers taking on the Cubs. Julio Teheran on the mound for the Brewers, 2-3 with a 2.85 ERA. Drew Smyly getting the rock for the Cubs. Cubs are favored in this one on the road, which makes a little bit of sense. I could see where they're coming from for that. Cleveland's coming Chicago's coming off of losing 2 of 3 against Cleveland. And this Milwaukee team, yes, they've won their last couple series, but they haven't really had the toughest of competition. So that's where I think that, Vegas is saying, okay, we have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be, looking at this Milwaukee team, thinking they're good. Let's take them for plus money. I think it's a bait spot here. I think that this is a Cubs spot, even though the Cubs have been super inconsistent. I'm going to lean towards the Cubs here. And then in terms of the total 9 runs, it's not like either of these offenses have been cooking, but you got to kind of give credit to Milwaukee for the amount of runs they've been scoring. So I'm going to lean slightly towards the over 9 runs here as well. I don't necessarily love it, but keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if it becomes a final play. And again, I feel like whenever we do our mobile videos here, I always forget to say we go through each and every game on the channel, but all my final plays, what I'm ultimately going to be rolling with myself, those will be in the pinned comment, okay? So keep an eye on that. I update it throughout the day. Nationals taking on the Reds. I'm starting to really like, this Nationals team. They have won 4 of their last 5. They've won 6 of their last 10. They've won 6 of their last 8, actually. When I say I'm starting to really like them, I'm just starting to like a couple of guys on the team. Lane Thomas we're becoming a fan of because we had the mortgage on Lane Thomas a couple days ago, and he cashes for us. And then Cincinnati. Obviously, a lot of people in baseball liking Cincinnati. They're really good for baseball with some of the young guys. Now they're using their vets as well. But nonetheless, Nationals and Reds here. Both kind of a pick 'em here. Minus 103 for the Nationals, minus 107 for the Reds here. In terms of the total, we're looking at 10.5 runs. With on the mound for the Nationals is going to be Jake Irvin. He's 1-4 with a 4.72 ERA. Luke Weaver on the mound for the Reds, 6.96 ERA with a 1-2 record. I will say this, all that rambling about I like both these teams. I think the Reds are a far better team as of right now, and I would say that they're just playing better baseball also. So I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati in this one. The fact that they're a pick'em, I think that they've proven themselves a little bit more than this Washington team. This Washington team is almost like the Reds when they first started to turn on the hot switch there. So that could fade out, but until we see it proven as a fact, I am going to lean towards the Reds in this spot here, because I do think this is a valuable pick. I think this Reds team, yes, they're similar to the Nationals team, but they've been playing way better baseball for longer. You're only getting them minus 107. Sign me up. In terms of the total 10.5, I almost want to doubt the fact that this is going to go up and over, because obviously this Reds team is an overs team like you read about, but this Nationals offense is too inconsistent. So I'm going to lean towards the under. But it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden we go out there and see this Reds team just drop 7 runs themselves and make this a spot where Washington only needs to score a couple. All right, moving on, we got Marlins taking on the Cardinals. Marlins are favored in this one as they have Braxton Garrett, 4-2 with a 3.5 ERA, going up against Miles Mikolas, who's 4-5 with a 4.44 ERA. This Marlins team puzzles me, man. I've been saying it for a while. They puzzle me. They go out there and, take 3 of 4 against Pittsburgh. Okay, whatever. They sweep Boston. That was when Boston stinks. And then they just get crushed by Atlanta, which Atlanta, obviously one of the better teams in the league. I completely understand that. But it's like Miami will go out there and beat the bad teams, but get smoked by the good teams, right? And then you're looking at St. Louis. It's like, okay, well, are they a good team or bad team? I would say bad team, but they do go on runs, and they did just take 2 of 3 against the Yankees. So my mind is kind of in a pretzel here. This is probably the wrong move, so maybe this is the time when you fade me, but I'm going to classify St. Louis as a better team right now based on their last series, okay? Meaning I think they're going to beat Miami because I don't think the Marlins have been playing well against good teams. So, yeah, maybe that's just my dumb brain, formulating and calculating a plan, but nonetheless, I lean towards the Cardinals. Let me know in the comments if I'm an absolute psycho. It's not like they have the better pitcher today or the better team, but I've been noticing this Marlins team lose to good teams, beat bad teams, lose to good teams, beat bad teams, and it's resulted in a good season. But nonetheless, lean towards the Cardinals. In terms of the total 8 runs, I look at the over. The Cardinals are going to win. They're probably going to score a decent amount of runs, so I'm going to lean towards the over there. Yankees taking on the Orioles here. Orioles actually favored on the road ever so slightly. On the mound here, Domingo Germán, Yankees 5-5 with a 4.54 ERA, and Tyler Wells on the mound for the Orioles. Domingo Germán looked pretty good in his last start against the Oakland Athletics. 9 innings pitched, a complete game, a no-hitter, a perfect game. Everything, guys, with 9 strikeouts too. But nonetheless, I don't think he does it 2 times in a row. And it's like, dude, you played Oakland. So I am, crazily enough, probably going to lean towards Baltimore in this one. They have been kind of on the slide as well. But New York's probably thinking they got this one in the bag. We got Domingo Germán. I don't think Domingo Germán is that good. And it's not a coincidence in my brain that he threw a perfect game against a bad team. Okay, so I'm going to lean towards Orioles. And I'm also going to look at the over because, again, I think everyone and their grandma is going to be like, oh, he threw a perfect game. He's on fire. It's like, I think we could easily see, 9+ runs in this game. All right, Guardians taking on the Braves here. Gavin Williams on the mound for the Guardians. Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves. Braves only minus 155. And I say only because if I saw this at first, I would have said, oh my God, they're going to be way more favored. They opened at minus 140. If you got the Braves right away, you got a really good deal. They're minus 155 now. It's probably going to keep going up. I like the Braves minus 155 on the money line. Why would you not, bet on a hot team going up against a Cleveland team that, yes, they're playing better baseball than they have in the past, but they're coming off of Milwaukee, Kansas City, and then a Cubs series. This Braves team's rolling anyone in their past, and this Cleveland team hasn't really been battle tested in a few weeks here. So I'm going to lean towards Atlanta. Minus 155, it's a lot of juice, but I'll sip that juice ever so nicely. I also don't hate them on the run line. For obviously you're getting some way better odds there. Plus 113. I'm going to probably look at the safety net of the money line, but Atlanta in terms of run line, they have been covering it. 6-3 against Miami, 7-0 against Miami, 16-14 against Miami, 3-0 against Minnesota, 6-2 against Minnesota, 4-1 against Minnesota. That's their last 6 games. So they've been covering that run line, but I don't mind the safety net of money line. In terms of the total here, 9 runs. I'm going to look at the under. Bryce Elder on the mound. I don't think that he's going to waver in the way of Guardians here. I think that he's going to have a really good game. All right, Twins taking on the Royals. Twins minus 220. Doesn't seem worth it to me. Joe Ryan on the mound. I like the pitcher, but the Royals, they're not good, no kidding. Probably feeling themselves after taking 2 of 3 against the Dodgers here. But this is probably a Minnesota spot. But minus 220 does not even put it on my radar. Total sitting at 9 runs here. This Royals offense, obviously, scoring a couple runs in the last few games decently. But this Minnesota offense really is really dormant. So you can look at it two ways. I think it's going to go under because I think this Minnesota offense is going to maybe take like a game or two to get into scoring a decent amount of runs against a bad Royals team. But you could also say, okay, maybe Minnesota views this as like a launching pad. But I'm going to lean towards the under. All right, we got the Padres taking on the Angels here. Snell on the mound for the Padres. Barria on the mound for the Angels. We don't have odds as of right now, but we do have opening odds from around 11 p.m. last night, which is minus 177 on the Padres side of things, and the Angels plus 159. Angels coming off a win last night against Arizona, and the Padres coming off of a loss against Cincinnati. They've only won 1 of their last 8 games here. Give me the Angels today for plus 159 odds. Again, these odds are not up to date. They've been pulled from Sportsbook, so I want to know what that means, but that is what they opened up at right there. And we don't have a total here. It opened up at 8, but I imagine it's going to be probably around 8.5 or so. So I'm going to lean towards the over here, but nonetheless, my biggest lean in this is probably going to be the Angels. A get-right spot for them against a Padres team that's overpriced today. All right, Giants taking on the Mariners. Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants. Brian on the mound for the Mariners. Giants favored in this one, minus 133, and I like the spot for Seattle. They took 2 of 3 against Tampa Bay, and legitimate wins. You know what I mean? Legitimate wins. Come from behind wins where they showed a lot of cojones, all right? So I'm leaning towards Seattle, just because I do think that they're a little bit hotter here as San Francisco loses 2 of 3 against the Mets, and their last 2 games just did not look all that great, and Seattle looking like they're starting to get hot, and they do have, decent pitcher, especially with Brian Wu kind of coming along, right? So I'm going to lean towards the Mariners for plus 123 odds. And then in terms of the total 7.5, I'm looking at this saying, all right, what's going on here? It's 60 degrees in San Francisco with 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing directly out to center field, a 7% chance of precipitation. Is that what it is? Like, I'm looking at this saying, what's stopping this from being an absolute, 7-5 type game and going way over? So maybe the weather update I have isn't all that accurate or something, but I'm leaning towards the over 7.5 for sure. All right, Dodgers taking on the Pirates here. We don't have any odds for this as of right now, but we can kind of, I guess, hypothetical go through this one. Clayton Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers, and Pirates have Mitch Keller going on the mound. Obviously, 2 good pitchers playing as of right now, but nonetheless, I do think that this one is going to be a heavily favored game towards the Dodgers. They did play earlier this year. Pittsburgh actually took 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers win this series. Especially after losing last series, like I just said, to the Royals, right? Like, they have to have some fire under their ass. So I'm going to lean towards the Dodgers, but it's probably going to be minus. If it's anything under minus 165, I'd probably pull the trigger on Dodgers money line. If not, then I'd consider in some sort of a parlay or something like that. But in terms of the total, let's see, their last few games here for both teams have been sitting right around 8.5 to 9 runs. If this is a 9.5, I go under. If it's a 8.5, I'd go over. So I'm kind of predicting right in that upper 8 to lower 9 total for this game, if that makes sense. But guys, that's all I have for you guys today. I know we flew through it. Let me know in the comments if you made it till the end by letting me know what would your favorite pitch be if you were an MLB pitcher. You don't have to be good at it in real life, but what would it be? Because you know what mine would be? If I was a pitcher that could capitalize and be an amazing pitcher on one pitch, I'd throw a freaking ephus. I would get guys swinging and spazzing out if I threw an ephus towards them. So let me know your favorite pitch if you were an MLB All-Star Cy Young type pitcher. Let me know what it would be. But that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys do enjoy the video. Hopefully it sounded okay, looks okay. It's tough to look okay with this ugly mug. But nonetheless, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.